or your leaders have failed you. They take everything from you. They have lied. Tyrants on thrones with their miniature crowns, speaking in sermons while leveling towns, calling themselves the divine chosen clowns, while every explosion is shaking the ground. Doctrine of dominance echoing loud, broadcasting lies through a venomous sound. Israel built empires, controlling the crowd, tiny gold crowns while the missiles come down. Our end's patience have come to its end. They will bomb tyrants once again. Thunder responding to years of decay. Crimson horizon is flooding with rain. Pride in their towers beginning to crack. Now the fire of justice is striking them back.
Jeff and Apples walk the street, talking about the sky so neat. Weather weapons causing storms, globalists with secret forms. Jeff and Apples, what a pair, whisper plots while breathing air. Apocalypse is on its way, but they still find time to play. But they still find time to play. But they still find time to play.
How you doing, Apples? I'm pretty good. Just sitting here on the steps. It's hot outside. I'm not even gonna come down. What's going on? World War III? Jews? You got it again, Apples. I guess just do another video. Not much has happened, though. Not much has happened in the last few days. Oh, this apocalypse. I can't keep up. But we've just been busy here. Of course, it's, I haven't done a video since Easter. We had the entire town here. All the kids from the town nearby, which we employ like half the people of the town as well, all doing like Easter egg hunt. Yeah, we're kind of the opposite of the Epstein class. We invite all the little kids over and we hid about 200 Easter eggs for them. Had a whole fun day for them. But now, being a narco-capitalist, so I've got the child labor working. These are all like cousins and nephews. See, this is what unschooling looks like, by the way. What are your kids gonna do? I don't know, learn construction? What are your kids doing? Getting injected with poison and learning about communism from ladyboys giving them lap dances? Oh, you're so crazy, Jeff. You libertarian, voluntarist types with the crazy ideas. I know, it's so crazy. Anyway, I should get into this. Oh, take a deep breath here. What a few days it's been. I guess it all started with on Easter Day, Donald Trump sending out this, very, beautiful message to people, on the commemoration of the death and rebirth, I guess, if that happened, of Jesus. He sent this out. A whole civilization will die tonight, never to be brought back again. I don't want that to happen, but it probably will. I can't even believe this. However, now that we have complete and total regime change where different, smarter, and less radicalized minds prevail, maybe something revolutionarily wonderful can happen. Who knows? We'll find out tonight. One of the most important moments in the long and complex history of the world. 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death will finally end. God bless the great people of Iran. Yes, that was real. I guess X's hate speech policy doesn't apply when you're saying you're going to kill an entire civilization. But I might not. Anyway, God bless you, Iranians. You're great people. But I'm going to have to kill you because of 47 years of extortion, corruption, and death. Extortion? Well, that's taxes. That's what Trump does. Corruption? I've never seen more corruption in the Trump regime. And death? Well, they're currently financing a genocide in Palestine. And dozens of wars, napalming little kids in Vietnam. But, you know, he's got to take out those Iranians. They're the bad ones. Oh, man. Matt, we're so busy here. Look at all this action going on. Here's where my solar panels are going to go. They've started to put the base in. It's going to be concrete below it, just so you know, because those things can leach some pretty bad chemicals. It's also not near the house because it also has a lot of radiation. But that'll be all installed in the next couple of weeks. Pretty excited about that. But yeah, quite the Easter for Trump. Like, I feel like, I've said this so many times over the years, I feel like I must be on a DMT trip that never ended or something. Because here's also how Trump's basically announcing he's going to destroy an entire civilization, just burn them all to death with nuclear bombs, which don't even exist. See, all of this stuff is a show, and I'll get into that in this. Not that no one's going to die. Lots of people are going to die. But all the stuff they say is all lies and all a show. But to see Trump with an Easter bunny announcing how he's going to kill everybody.
He said normally when you're in very hostile territory, and I don't think it gets much more hostile than Iran, they're capable fighters, they're very tough people, and there are others like that. You don't mind when the enemy is weak, but that enemy is strong. Not so strong like they were about a month ago, I can tell you. In fact, right now they're not too strong at all, in my opinion, but we're soon going to find out, aren't we?
Yeah, he kind of did that last year too. My favorite part of this is that they felt the need to specify which one was the president. President of the United States? Left. He's always giving speeches with Easter bunnies. And of course, don't forget, this is to save all the women and little girls in Iran, right? By killing all of them. But it's not just the women and little girls who Trump's so concerned about because they might have to wear a cloth on their head, which actually isn't the case for most of them. And it's not the law in Iran or anything. But even if it was, it's no reason to kill everybody. But it's also for the gay people.
They don't tell you the real facts. Women, men, gays. How about gays for Iran? They kill the gays. They throw them off buildings. So I wonder what's going on. I can only say this. They want us to keep bombing, even if it jeopardizes, because their life is in much greater danger. They want freedom for Iran, but it's very hard for them to protest. I actually tell them, I said, don't go out. I fully understand. Nobody in this room would go out. I don't think there's any, because frankly, it's not a question of bravery. We're all brave, right? You're brave, I'm brave, we're all brave. But we're also intelligent. If you have people shooting at you, expert shots with the best rifles you can get, and hitting you right between the eyes every single time, and you're looking here and you're seeing and you're looking here, you're out of there. I don't care who.
Yeah, it's just going to kill all the gay people so that they are protected from this evil regime and all the evil people in Iran who keep throwing them off buildings, which has never happened. ISIS did, but ISIS is Mossad. It's always the USSA and Israel doing all this stuff. Well, at least this person has some rational, good views on the whole situation. Here's Donald Trump like a few months ago.
We don't lose wars. Sometimes we don't fight to win. You know, we'll stay around the country for 15 years, just bomb the hell out of everybody, make everybody miserable. Nobody knows why we're there, you know, the wars that never end.
The whole thing is peak insanity. It's so incredible. And by the way, I'm not going to call Trump Trump anymore, because that's not actually his real name. Just like Milkowski, which is Milekowski, who changed his name to Netanyahu, or Milei in Argentina, that is actually, he's like a cousin of Milekowski's. And just like most of them, they all changed their name. And Trump isn't the original family name. Donald Trump's ancestral surname was Drumpf. And that's what I'm going to call him from now on. Though the exact timing of the change to Trump is unclear, the name originated in the German village of Karlstad, where the Drumpf family lived as early as the 17th century and evolved into Trump over time, possibly before or after Friedrich Drumpf, later Frederick Trump, emigrated to the US in 1885. Anyway, before Drumpf said he was going to kill everyone in Iran, he put out another tweet saying that this is going to be Bridge Day coming up. And the very next day, this bridge near the Panama Canal almost got completely exploded. Yeah, 40% of US container freight actually passes through the Panama Canal, which it looks like they tried to take out the other day as well. This is all part of the plan. Because what this all is, and I've been saying this for quite a long time, is a Satanic Pedovore cult is basically trying to kill everyone on Earth. And one of the ways they're doing it now is to get rid of all the oil, all the shipping, destroy the food supply. Of course, they've been doing the chemtrails, which luckily I don't have here. What a beautiful sky this is here. I'm so blessed. But most people are under crisscrossing skies with vaccines in the chemtrails now, which actually just came out in Canada recently.
The Canadian government has partnered with Bill Gates to spray airborne mRNA on urban populations and rural areas with low vaccine uptake, according to a commercial airlines pilot who has blown the whistle on the Gates Foundation's chemtrails operations. As the globalist elite find it harder to convince humanity to submit to COVID mRNA shots and endless boosters, they're having to find deceitful new ways to force their mRNA on us. According to pilots familiar with the scheme, the Gates Foundation's new technology, known as AirVax, is designed to deliver the vaccine right into people's lungs, bypassing the need for injections and the need for consent. But this isn't just about distribution. Insiders say the chemical agents used in these aerosol campaigns are having terrifying side effects, not just on the public, but even on the pilots and operatives involved. Reports are surfacing of crew members suffering psychotic breaks, terrifying hallucinations, and even taking their own lives, just from brief exposure to the chemicals. And now, independent research confirms the worst, a direct link between these compounds and chemically induced psychosis. But here's the part that should make you sit up and listen. Whistleblowers say this isn't a malfunction, it's by design. Mass exposure, psychological destabilization, biological submission on a scale humanity has never seen before. And the most chilling part? They're not even trying to hide it anymore. Because what's coming next makes everything we live through look like a test run. This is the rollout, and we're the targets.
And just so FYI, vaccines are poison and nanotech to actually turning into a transhuman, which I've been talking about for a while. No one seems to notice or care that much. I do. I do so many things every day to detox. Hours per day. Sauna every day. Man, do I sweat now. You know, when I first started sauna, I barely sweated at all. I think my sweat glands didn't really know how to do it or something. Now I'm just like dripping. It's just like a water coming off my nose. And it feels so good. And then I go straight from there into my cold plunge pool. And then I go into my jacuzzi with windows that open. I lie in the sun in a plasma bath. So that's what I'm doing. I don't know what you're doing. You should be doing stuff like that though. If you can. And you can do most of that stuff. Oh, Jeff, costs too much. I can't even afford a sauna. All right, we'll put on some garbage bags, although that's probably not good too. That stuff's all full of... But you know, put on something like Try to find some good plastic that isn't full of that BPH or whatever it is, which they also have been putting in stuff for decades to kill everyone. And turn up the heat in your house or go for a run or whatever. That's what the boxers do. That's why most athletes aren't affected by a lot of this stuff. They sweat out most of this toxins and stuff. And that's what you need to be doing too. And that's basically free. Put on a garbage bag, although I don't recommend garbage bag. Something like it, and go for a run. Yeah, but Jeff, that's hard. Yeah, well, just die. Just become a transhuman and be controlled by the AI and the 6G. We're ready for that too. Anyway, are there any maggots left? Even Alex Jones has been out saying we got to get the 25th Amendment and get Trump out of there. Now, I think he's in on it all, but his comments, like he has no one who's like agrees with him anymore on most of his stuff. And if anyone watches him, in the comments, it's all like, you're controlled up, you're a Mason, you're this, you're that, because of his support for Trump. So he's even had to come out and say, oh, Trump's been, they got to him, they fooled him. No. Trump's been in this, and his family's been in this for generations. It's called a Satanic Pedovore cult. But I still see some Trump people out there. I think they're mostly bots. They have to be. But there is, there's a lot of stupid people out there. And they're still like supporting them. Like even on this ceasefire, which I'll get into, which didn't happen. That's why I haven't really brought it up yet. But like yesterday, they said there was a ceasefire and all these Trump people are out there. See, he did it. He won the war. There was no winning that war. They lost every base in the Middle East just to start with. But the ceasefire is all fake. I'll get into that in a second too. There's a lot of fake stuff to get into here. But basically, those sort of people, they're so deep into the cult, there's nothing you can tell them. But I think for most Trump supporters in the past, I don't think there can be many left at this point.
You didn't get a wall. You didn't get any arrests. You didn't get drain the swamp or America First. You didn't get any new infrastructure, no $5,000 Doge check. You didn't eliminate any national debt or get any help buying a new home or help with lower grocery prices or gas prices. I mean, it's quite the opposite, in fact. You didn't get a $2,000 stimulus check or affordable health care or any accountability for the Epstein files, which he promised when he said he was going to release them all to the public. And you damn sure didn't get any no more wars. Now, what you got was conned. And you're too fucking embarrassed to admit it.
Yeah, and here's Trump, and what they're talking about is how God raised Trump to kill Islamic Iranians for Jewish people. And, praying to God about it. Moloch.
Persians, the Iranians, were wanting to kill every Jew, woman, child, and do it all in one day. But you raised up Esther to save the Jewish people. Father, we thank you. Today, the Iranians, the wicked regime of this government, wants to kill every Jew and destroy them with an atomic fire. But you have raised up President Trump. You've raised him up for such a time as this. And Father, we pray that you'll give him victory. Father, we pray for our military that you'd watch over, protect them. Father, we pray for the people of Iran who want freedom to be set free from these Islamic lunatics. Father, we thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, who came to this earth to take our sins, that he died and shed his blood on a cross for our sins, that he was buried. He took our sins to the grave, but you raised him to life. And Father, we thank you and we praise you and we give you the glory. Father, protect President Trump. pray this in Jesus' name. Amen.
Yeah, they're going to try to sacrifice all the Western, actually basically all the Goyim again. In Germany, they've said no young males under 40, 44 I think or something, can leave the country without permission now. They're getting their conscription ready. Canada's considering conscription now. US already has been ramping that up. They just increased their age to about 44 as well, I think. And yeah, they're sending over so many troops now. A lot of them have already been killed. I'll get into that in a second too. But here's a movie trailer that you probably won't see in Jewish theaters anytime soon.
Trump knows exactly what he's doing, and we gotta trust him. They need you out there. Israel is our greatest ally, man.
Dad, but I've been watching a lot of Tucker Carlson.
I don't give a shit what Tucker Carlson said, boy! Damn it!
Son, you're not just signing up for the military. You're signing up to protect our greatest ally.
But what about protecting America?
That's what I said.
Holy shit! We need backup! Call for backup! Backup? What backup? All our backup was sent to protect our greatest ally! Kid, I'd say you've got a lot of balls, but they cut everything off from the waist down.
Are you proud of me?
Not until our greatest ally is safe.
You're one of the lucky ones, you know that? Because of what I'm doing for our greatest ally, you get to be a hero.
I can be your hero, baby.
Yeah, Trump wants you to go and die for Israel. And him and everyone else involved in the US government at the higher levels, they're all involved with Jeffrey Epstein and his child sex trafficking ring, including Howard Butlick, who stands right behind Trump all the time. But here's a guy who says we should actually have the death penalty for all child sex traffickers. And, you know, I'm actually against the government having death penalty. I actually am against the government. Just start there. When you go, hey, the government should, I go, shh.
Shit. They're gonna get I'm just... Knock, knock. Who's there?
Shh. Shh. Stop right there. No, it shouldn't. It shouldn't exist. So to say the government have a death penalty for child sex traffickers, I wouldn't actually be in favor of that. I wouldn't, because I'm not in favor of the government doing anything, especially killing people with all their fake courts and their Masonic judges. But here's a guy who actually is 100% for it.
When I am back in the White House, I will immediately end the Biden border nightmare that traffickers are using to exploit vulnerable women and children. We will fully secure the border. I will wage war on the cartels just as I destroyed the ISIS caliphate, 100% gone, 100% destroyed. They'll come back now because we have a weak administration. I will use Title 42 to end the child trafficking crisis by returning all trafficked children to their families in their home countries and without delay. And I will urge Congress to ensure that anyone caught trafficking children across our border receives the death penalty immediately.
Yeah. I wonder whatever happened to that, except for tons of the Epstein documents came out, and he's in there like 30,000 times. And it's very clear he was like best friends with Jeffrey Epstein. But no, now you've got Operation Epstein Fury, just to take your mind off all that.
I'm fighting for Jeffrey.
I'm fighting for Jeffrey.
I'm fighting for Jeffrey!
I'm fighting for Jeffrey.
Operation Fury.
Your mission, should you choose to accept it. And you will accept it!
You don't have a choice. We raised the age of the draft.
Private Elmer Fudge, ready for deployment.
But what about my Social Security? You don't get it anymore! Now off you go to the minefield!
Cheer up, son. The light at the end of the tunnel is approaching. Targeted elimination of the schoolhouse sector is complete.
Due to your bravery, your family gets to eat this week.
Oh, no. I'll give it to your wife myself.
Operation Fury.
And the more I look at this entire war situation, the more it becomes clearer and clearer that this is all an operation. Like at first I kind of liked these Lego movies. I was like, whoa, that's so cool. These Iranian people are putting together these incredible movies that, like, even with AI, it's really incredibly well done. And like they do it within like hours of an event happening. Like they've got a massive budget. Like it's kind of like Hollywood, you could say. Like they even did one just before when Trump chickened out on killing everyone in Iran. They did this full, almost like feature-length movie. It's like minutes long. All super pro. And I think it's mostly just to get us all whipped into like cheering for one side or another and stuff, when the actual hands behind it are the ones doing everything. But man, there's so much stuff going on. So much stuff that basically you find like BitChute vagrants like just hanging around. on the street, just doing nonstop videos. Like, do you ever stop doing videos at this point?
It's crazy. It's crazy, man. Like, it really is. I did a video yesterday and ended up, while I was editing the video, the whole world had changed. And so I figured I'd do the video again today. And by the time I woke up this morning, the whole world had changed again from what it was last night. It's crazy.
I know. Yeah. It's so insane.
I've been trying to get one done today, but the dogs are distracting me a lot. So.
Gotcha.
I don't know whether I'll get one done or not.
Well, the thing is, if you finish it, it's probably going to be obsolete by the time you put it out.
It's insane. It's absolutely incredible how quickly things are changing. And how quick the US narrative is falling apart, like, so rapidly. Everything that they've said, it's just still people cheering Trump on, saying, wow, it was a victory for him. What was the victory? Well, he got the Straits open. Well, they were open before he started bombing Iran, you know? And Iran wasn't in control of them then. And he had bases in the Persian Gulf, and the oil flow was still working. I mean, the damage that's been done to the refineries. And the stuff that's come out about the rescue mission, which was apparently a complete and utter disaster, and they didn't get the pilot out at all. If they did get the pilot out, why haven't we seen him on TV? This is America. They'd be parading him around as a hero. They'd be bringing out the people who rescued him, and these are the soldiers that saved the guy. Like, you know what they do.
Oh, I know. There's going to be a Hollywood movie about it, though. You know that, right? Just like the great heroes on that plane that landed in the field in Shanksfield.
It's unbelievable. I mean, according to the Iranian version, it was a complete disaster. And the United States actually did something akin to the Hannibal Directive and blew up their own plane with the troops in it and just left everybody there and ran. You know? Well, they landed the plane in a muddy field and it couldn't take off, and then the other one got shot down. They even interviewed one of the farmers who shot down a helicopter because he could see the pilot. You know, like, it's incredible, the story. And we haven't seen any follow-up on that. We haven't seen any of the crew who apparently rescued the pilot. We haven't seen the pilot's face on the news or anything like that. They just, all this other stuff's going on, and in 2 weeks from now, everyone will have forgotten about it. But I think it was a complete disaster. I think it's been a complete disaster from day one. And Trump's doing anything he can to back out, because Iran's shown what they can do. They've just decimated the whole area, and they've had the ability to do this for years, but they never have, because they were never pushed into it. So, yeah.
Wild times.
Wild times, brother. I don't have to do a video now. I just did the whole thing there. You know? So,
yeah, there you go. I saved you some time.
there you go.
I've even got video editors, so we can both go and relax and play some pool while the videos get done.
Yeah. All good.
All right, I'll leave you here.
All right, brother.
Yeah, just find bitch sheet people on the street around here, just non-stop. Like, I didn't know Max was here. I just walking by, I'm like, oh, there's Max doing another video. He's been doing videos the last few days. I don't think he's bothered putting them out, because every time he does, and by the time he finishes it, everything's changed completely, like he just said. And like he just said, so much, like, this is a massive operation, in my opinion, to get rid of most of the oil on Earth. This is all part of their Agenda 2030. And now, who's in on it and what they know and stuff like that, that's all not even that important. Just look at what's actually happening. Like, that's one thing that I kind of do, right? I forget about what everyone says is happening and just look at what's happening. Well, before the ceasefire, another strike hit Mashur petrochemical complex in Avaz in Iran. It supplies 70% of Iran's gasoline. It's kind of gone now. Then Iran, because of that, they say, targeted Kuwait's energy facilities. They also struck the Babco oil refinery in Sitra, Bahrain. And on the day of the ceasefire, before it came out, which wasn't a ceasefire, the US bombed South Pars, one of the world's largest gas facilities shared with Qatar.
Well, it is one of the world's largest gas facilities. It's shared with Qatar and Iran. South Pars on the Iranian side and the North Field here in Qatar. And as you mentioned, this is the second time that we're hearing of attacks near South Pars. It's not yet clear what's the detail of how big this attack is, what it has targeted, and how will it affect any supplies. It is not just one of the largest producers of gas in the world. You have to remember that Iran is the world's 4th largest consumer of LNG. South Pars is essentially the lifeline for electricity and industrial production and everything else in Iran as well. So it is of huge importance.
And then they did another just huge propaganda operation, a big rug pull. They said with like an hour left. Well, it's always like an hour left, isn't it? Until this deadline when Trump said he's going to kill every single person in Iran. They had a ceasefire. And they announced it, and oil dropped a lot, and stock markets rebounded. There's just one thing. There was nothing stopped at all. And I mean at all.
At all. At all. At all.
Like, as they were announcing the ceasefire, Iran just continued bombing Israel, all kinds of the Gulf states. Then even a few hours afterwards, Iran confirmed missiles and drones launched at the United Arab Emirates oil terminal in Fujairah. They said in direct retaliation for attacks on the Lavan refinery. Saudi Aramco's Abqaiq facility, the world's largest crude oil processing site, is on fire. Then after that, 3 Kuwaiti power stations and water distillation plants were struck by Iranian drones the morning after the so-called ceasefire. And remember what I said with the Strait of Hormuz, which, by the way, has not reopened. In fact, is closed more than it's ever been now after the ceasefire. That is absolutely massive. It's been closed now for about a month and a half. And I'll get into just how devastating that's going to be for the world, but it isn't just yet, and no one's realized it yet. It's going to be unbelievable once all these places start running out of oil, and some of them already have. Some places in Asia already have. Europe's next in the next week or two. Australia's pretty close to that. This is going to get insane, but I said there's actually one thing still kind of moving oil out of the Middle East, because the Strait of Hormuz is basically nothing moving for 6 weeks. And I said there's one particular pipeline. It's the East-West pipeline in Saudi Arabia. Well, right after the ceasefire, Saudi Arabia's oil pipeline to the Red Sea, carrying 7 million barrels per day, was hit by a drone attack. Now, of course, with a lot of this stuff, who knows if it's true? Who knows what's actually happening? How bad the damage was? But if that goes offline, that's another 7 million barrels a day. The Strait of Hormuz took out 20 million barrels a day. Russia is not exporting. That's 10 million barrels a day. We're getting close to like 40 million barrels a day. That is not happening anymore. Just so you know, the world was mostly running on about 100 million barrels a day up until this operation. Now we're getting close to 40 million barrels per day is basically gone. And a lot of it's not coming back anytime soon. Like, I saw oil actually drop quite a bit after they said there was a ceasefire. But I was like, well, it's not like all these things, they just flip a switch and they go, okay, we can produce again. And all the shifts just start lighting up. No, this is going to be months, if not years, if not decades, to get a lot of this stuff back online. But because of the ceasefire, and this happened, by the way, while I was in the hyperbaric chamber. I was doing an afternoon hyperbaric chamber. I left and oil was around $108. And 1 hour later, I get out of the hyperbaric chamber and oil was at $90. So down nearly about $20. It actually liquidated some of my oil shorts. I also had a whole bunch of stop losses, or take profit, you could say, because I was in a lot of profit on a lot of those trades at 106. So I didn't get too hurt from it. And the things that did get liquidated got liquidated at $98. And so when it hit 90, I just bought back in, and now it's back to about $96 right now. So I'm basically pretty close to break even after all that chaos. But some people profited massively from it. Anyone want to guess? A Trump insider opened a $52 million oil short right before the US-Iran peace deal announcement. This guy, probably Barron Trump or Howard Butlick or both, went all in and made $174 million in just a few minutes. Oh, and drunk Nancy Pelosi made $50 more million. Pelosi received a top secret briefing about the upcoming ceasefire and immediately shorted oil futures. She netted a cool $54 million in one trading day. Good for them. Making so much money on fake things like this ceasefire, which there was nothing about it that was really real. Like even the Iranian person who would have to kind of like sign off on it, they say he's in a coma. I don't know who Trump keeps talking to on the phone, but it's probably like J.D. Vance in a different room using like a fake accent. But there was no ceasefire whatsoever. In fact, things have gotten so much worse since the ceasefire. Lebanon, as an example, has been just destroyed. It's so sick what Israel did. And this is part of what they wanted to do. So they said the ceasefire. Israel didn't want the ceasefire. So they went and they killed like thousands and thousands and thousands of people in Beirut, Lebanon, just in their apartments downtown, just bombed them all. But that's like small compared to everything else going on. The Strait of Hormuz is more closed now than it's ever been. Like there was a few ships getting through every day, but now there's absolutely nothing. Zero. And if that east-west pipeline's gone, that's basically most of the Middle East is now gone for oil. And not coming back anytime soon, like I said. And there's been some like oil shocks in the past, but nothing like this. Yeah, you had the Arab Spring, oil went up 20%. The Iraq War, oil went up 20%. 9/11, actually, oil went down as it caused a massive crash. Great financial crisis, oil actually went down. The COVID's oil went down because it caused a massive depression. But just looking at like the Arab Spring, the Iraq War, or even the Russia-Ukraine war, oil only went up about 20% during those. We're already up about 80% since the start of this one. And this one is so much worse. Like all those other ones were minor compared to this. Probably as I'm speaking, there's some oil facility somewhere being blown up right now. All on purpose. And Europe's about to run out of jet fuel, in addition to all other fuel. And they've already knocked out most of their coal power plants, their nuclear reactors. They won't accept Russian oil, but even if they did, Russia's not exporting right now. Like Europe, in the next few weeks, I don't think anyone's going to believe what they're going to see. It's going to be like Mad Max in a lot of the cities. What did I tell you? Get out of the cities. I'm sure some people said, yeah, but Jeff, I'm in Europe. Europe will be fine. Well, see how that goes. And of course, they've been running in millions, probably tens of millions of fighting age males from Africa. And everyone was like, yeah, Jeff says they're going to be like this sleeper cells and stuff, and they'll just come in at the right time. Well, that's probably going to happen. This is going to get insane. And if you want to leave, a lot of flights are already being canceled. And even if you can get a flight, the prices have gone about 500% higher in price. Here's flights to Europe. You could also say from Europe. In February, compared to March. In February, Bangkok, Frankfurt was $474. It's now almost $3,000. Hong Kong, London, $500. Now $3,000. Kuala Lumpur to Paris, $490 to $2,000. Singapore to London, $600 to $2,000. Sydney, Australia, talk about running from one bad place to another. To London, $700 to $4,000. The complacency of most of humanity, especially in places like Australia, Europe, Asia, which are going to be absolutely brutal. Most people, especially in Europe and Australia, they have no clue what's about to happen. This is one of those moments in time where it's like, you know something, and it's going to be insane, like unbelievably insane. But most people, almost all of them, have no clue. And I'm just here on BitChute. I'm like trying to tell them, but they don't get BitChute. It's actually kind of banned, I think, in like the UK BitChute. I'm banned everywhere. This is going to be so insane. And again, like I've been saying for 6 weeks now, even if it all stopped now, everything, you've snapped your fingers, and it all went to just normal. All the oil facilities even started working, which is not possible. And all the ships are just ready to go. They're just going to load them up, and they're just going to go. Well, do you know how fast those ships go? This guy explains it. Now ignore his globe. See, he's probably controlled up, or some sort of CIA guy or something, or just a NPC or a mind-controlled person who thinks that we live on that ball thing in his hand. He's kind of like, woohoo, cuckoo. But ignore that. The information he has about the speed of these ships and how long it's going to take them, if they ever can start moving, and there's no way that they're going to have anywhere near the amount of oil they used to, because most of these facilities, I just named like 5 that are all blown up right now. But if the oil even existed and they stopped everything today, actually had a ceasefire, which is not going to happen because this is all part of an operation, here's how long it would take to just even start getting some oil in some of these other places that are just running out right now.
This is an oil tanker. And the thing to know about an oil tanker is that it's really, really big. 4 soccer fields long, carries 2 or 3 million barrels of oil, and it weighs more than a skyscraper, all of which makes it slow, 10 or 15 knots. That is, no joke, the speed of a bicycle. Our global energy supply lines move at the speed of a Schwinn. And let me show you on this globe why that's important. If you biked all day, how much of this globe do you think you could cross? Like maybe the width of the point of this pen, right? Maybe. You worked really hard. Okay, now imagine hopping on your 12-speed starting in Dubai. Where's Dubai? Here we go. Starting in Dubai. And now imagine that you have to bike out of Dubai all the way down here, down the coast of Africa, down, across the Cape of Good Hope, back up the other coast of Africa, all the way across the Atlantic, through the Caribbean, before finally arriving at the deepwater oil port in Louisiana. That would take forever on a bike, right? Which, remember, is the speed that these oil tankers go. Like, that is how our oil travels, as if it were on a bike. And maybe you see where I'm going with this. This is a map of global oil flows put together by JP Morgan. Don't worry about all this text, we'll explain it in a minute. These red lines show the oil coming out of the Middle East, going out to the rest of the world. This is the stuff that's been cut off. Here it is back in December before the war. There it goes, the oil is flowing. But remember, it moves at the speed of a bunch of bicycles. So now it's January, and the oil is just finally reaching parts of Asia and Europe. And we're into February before it hits the US, and then it hits refineries in South Korea that then sends it on down these pink lines to Australia and New Zealand. So when the war starts and the oil stops flowing, there's actually still a ton out there, taking its long, lazy little bike ride around the globe. That's a big part of why things seem weirdly normal. For most countries, the oil shutdown has not reached us yet. We're still getting shipments that were sent out before the war started. So when do those shipments stop? If you look at that map again, it says most deliveries to the US will stop around April 15th. In Europe, they stop around April 10th. Asia, April 1st, so it's just getting started. But here in parts of Africa, it was March 20th. We're already well into it. And that's even hitting places like the US, where we are still receiving oil from before the war started. Countries whose shipments ran out are creating this big surge in demand. So anytime you go to the pump or pay your power bill, you are bidding against them and they are bidding against you. And all of this is going to get significantly worse when China and Europe start running out of shipments too and surge demand to replace it, which is really close to happening.
And still, with all of this, the oil price as I'm recording, now it's probably going to be a lot higher by the time you see this video. I'd be shocked if it isn't. But it's currently like $95. Which is the same amount it was at a month ago before most of the oil facilities in the Middle East were destroyed. and before Russia stopped exporting, which is another 10% of the world's oil supply. We're still at the same levels where it was at. So if you've been kind of like a bit slow on getting into these things, this is one of the best opportunities I've ever seen. I can't even believe you're getting an even better price now because they did their little ceasefire scheme. And, you know, Pelosi and Buttigieg and Barron Trump and, you know, all those sort of people, they all made fortunes just causing a crash in the price of oil. But for you, you have an incredible opportunity here. Oil is currently, I don't know, it's not going to probably be here for long, around 95. I think it's going 150 to 200 very quickly. If you do 10 times leverage, that's 1,000% gain on your trade. But I'd highly advise that you get into our newsletter so you get like the best information on how to do it. And there's actually ways to do it. You can actually even do it with Monero. It's incredible, actually. And I wrote about it in our last dispatch, which just went out about 9 days ago. And I'm offering it again for free. For free. You can get it for free right now. dollarvigilante.com/free trial. And go read what I wrote. And if you want, take action on it. You should be able to make fortunes. So I also talk about, and Ed Bugos talks a lot about, all these stock markets are going to crash soon. Like in the next few weeks, maybe the next month or two, they're all going to crash massively, like bigger crashes than we've ever seen. And if you know how to trade those things, particularly with leverage, you can make absolute fortunes while most people are going to get absolutely destroyed. And I'm giving it away for free. You can get it right now for free. dollarvigilante.com/free trial. If you want to learn more about the Dollar Vigilante newsletter, if you're like, I don't know what that is, go to dollarvigilante.com/subscribe. And it talks all about it. There's even a video there I did for you telling you what's all involved in the newsletter. It's probably one of the most important, what you could call magazine subscriptions you've ever had in your life. And it's all made for this moment in time. That's the thing. Like the Dollar Vigilante's tagline is surviving and prospering. Surviving, prospering, making lots of money. During, that's right now. And after the dollar collapse. Well, what just collapsed? Petrodollar, it's gone. It's already in collapse, and it's going to be collapsing way more. That's what our entire newsletter is all about. And to get it and all the trade alerts and stuff, it's less than $25 a month, which is insane. Like, I feel stupid saying it. Like, if someone said, hey, Jeff, I'll give you $25 to do anything, I'd be like, no. It's like you're offering me a penny. It's like, it doesn't mean anything. It's like nothing. That's what you get our newsletter for. You even get it for free right now. dollarvigilante.com/free trial. I don't know why you're not clicking on it. Like, I've been talking about this for a while. Are you still sitting there going, well, I'm not sure. I don't know if I want to make a fortune while everyone gets destroyed. Why? What's wrong with you? Why not? Unless you're like super zen, unless you're like Jesus or something, right? And you're like, I couldn't care less about the material items in this world, which is great. If you're like that, awesome. I'm glad you're watching my video. Like, so what an honor to have someone like that watching my video. But most of you aren't like that. Most of you are still caught in the matrix to some extent. So I can help you inside the matrix while you're still in there. I can even help you get out. That's even in our newsletter. I help people do that. Anyway, things are getting so insane. And what did Satan Klaus say?
So we have to prepare for a more angry world.
Well, it's going to get real angry. People get the most angry when they don't have food or can't afford food. And actually, the U.S. just had, I think, its biggest warehouse fire ever, just in the last few days. And it came out fairly soon afterwards. It was some employee guy who said he basically couldn't afford to live because of the inflation, Federal Reserve, the taxes of the government, extortion, and the price of everything increasing as well because they're destroying all the supply chains right now. So he could probably barely afford gas for his car to get to his job. So this person, instead of trying to figure things out, maybe take whatever he's got and put it into a leveraged oil trade. Subscribe to the Dollar Vigilante newsletter. This person decided to light the entire toilet paper warehouse on fire. And this is kind of interesting too, because we're about to enter into every shortage you can imagine. Like, I'm not kidding when I say whatever you think you want or need, and you don't need anything, by the way. You are consciousness. But, while you're still in the matrix, right? Whatever you think you might want over the next even 1 or 2 years or 5 years, get it right now. You won't believe it. In a few months, you won't be able to get anything, including the Tesla machine, by the way, probably. Everything's going to be shutting down. There's not going to be anything. So get on Amazon right now. And I hate supporting Jeff Bezos, but whatever you use to get some stuff right now. And definitely get some toilet paper, because now there's apparently going to be a shortage.
Should have paid us enough to fucking live. We may not get paid enough to fucking live, but these bitches dirt cheap. All you had to do was pay us enough to live. All you had to do was pay us enough to fucking live. All you had to do was pay us enough to live. There goes your inventory.
And meanwhile, while this is all happening, in places like Canada, people like Mark Carney, who's in the World Economic Forum, he's best friends with Ghislaine Maxwell. $3.8 billion for nature, $0 for your cost of living crisis. Mark Carney just fast-tracked the 30 by 30, 33 land lockup. The goal? Restricting rural movement and prepping the infrastructure for 15-minute cities. Mark Carney's priority is clear: $3.8 billion to seize control of 30% of our land and water. This isn't about nature, it's about control. 30% of Canada off limits by 2030. 15-minute cities for the remaining 70%. Total surveillance of your movement and carbon footprint. They want you in their smart cities. They want the land for themselves. Yeah, so Satan Claus is like, you gotta prepare for an angrier world. And what else did he say?
Which would bring to a complete halt to the power supply, transportation, hospital services, our society as a whole. The COVID-19 crisis would be seen in this respect as a small disturbance in comparison to a major cyber attack.
Yeah, we're still waiting for the cyber attack. That's coming still too. So is the next COVIDs. I'll get into that in a second. But here's Sam Altman, one of those AI guys, telling you that there's a world-shaking cyber attack this year.
There could well be a world-shaking cyber attack this year that would get people's attention. It sounds like you agree with that.
I think that's totally possible. Yes, I think to avoid that, it will require a tremendous amount of work, also in a sort of resilient style approach. Again, it's not just like make one AI model safe. It is defenders. We have this thing called the Trusted Access Program, other things, other companies have other things, but cybersecurity companies, the major platforms, the governments using this technology to try to rapidly secure their systems, the open source stack, all of that. That's quite important now.
And actually, I think he's right. And actually, I think I know when it's going to happen. I'm not sure if I should be telling everyone. But because of the work Christoph Melchizedek's been doing, we get downloads now. I'm just going to say this for now. It's going to happen in September, okay? And it's going to be pretty big, pretty big. So no matter what you're doing, you better make sure you've got what you need and you're where you want to be by September at the very latest. If you're in Europe right now, you should pause this video, watch the rest on your $5,000 flight anywhere else. This is going to happen fast. And they're trying to keep you distracted while all this stuff happens so that they can leave you with nothing and be happy. That's what's going on. And for that reason, they just whipped up, just out of the blue. I'd never heard anything about this moon mission on, oh please, they make it so obvious. April Fool's Day.
The crew of the Artemis II has captured some incredible views of Earth.
Ils ont utilisé les mêmes nuages sur les deux images. C'est censé être l'Afrique, de jour et de nuit, avec exactement le même angle. Donc environ 12 heures plus tard. Et les nuages n'ont pas bougé. Parce que ce sont pas des photos, ce sont des images de synthèse, comme toutes les images du globe. Alors soit la NBC s'est trompée dans la sélection du graphiste, soit c'est intentionnel pour nous tester, comme c'est marqué sur ce reel de la NASA. Et pourquoi on nous montre la Terre au compte-gouttes? Pourquoi ne pas tout filmer? Pensez-y 2 secondes. Un parachutiste revient avec des centaines de photos. GoPro accroché au casque. Caméra 360 à la main. Vidéo 8K. 120 images par seconde. Mais quand il s'agit d'Artemis, on retourne dans les années 70. Avec des images floues, saccadées. 4 images par seconde. Comme si la NASA n'avait pas le budget pour un GoPro à $400. Ils ont perdu la technologie. Et l'ont jamais retrouvée. Et quand ils font un live, c'est prise fixe, sans hublot. Dès qu'ils pensent que ça ne tourne plus, on les voit attendre les instructions d'une personne en coulisses. Et oui, n'oubliez pas qu'ils sont en studio. Pour éviter de vous montrer la vue, ils vont détourner votre attention en vous parlant de problèmes de toilette. Ou alors jouer avec leur mascotte, qu'ils appellent ZGI. Peut-être un indice pour CGI. Donc,
They've already been putting out all kinds of stuff with all these errors, and I think they're doing it on purpose because it's so obvious. Like they got them like moonwalking, but one guy's got 3 legs.
Los astronautas no tienen 3 piernas.
Then they're supposedly on a call with Donald Trump. And they said there's like a 9-second delay, which is weird because in 1969, like Richard Nixon just had to pick up that phone with the cord and he could just talk to him in real time. But I guess they lost the technology. So now it's a 9-second delay. There's just one thing. Donald Trump's not very smart. He forgot to wait 9 seconds before responding.
Administrator Isaacman, just get a quick comm check, make sure you guys are still on the line and we didn't have a handover. I am. Yes, I am. And integrity, and back over to you, Mr. President.
Yeah, I think we might have gotten cut off. It is a long distance. It's a long ways. The reception's been great. There's a little bit of about a 9-second delay, but no, I just had a statement for, I don't know what you heard, but I was just saying they're very proud of your brilliant person from Canada on the ship. And Wayne Gretzky is a great friend of mine, and he's very proud of him. And the Prime Minister I spoke to, they're very, very honored that you have a courageous person from Canada. You have a lot of courageous people from Canada, so it was very nice. I'm not sure if you heard me say that, but it was very nice.
Yes, Mr. President, we heard that, and we do love our Jeremy Hansen. We love all our Canadian astronauts, Jenny Gibbons, Josh Kutrick. They're just great people, and they're such a welcome addition to our Corps.
Great. Well, I really look forward to...
They even tell you these are actors. And most people will not even notice. Because when you're watching these television programming, you go into a hypnotic state. That's how they mind control so many people. Like hardly anyone probably even noticed what this guy said.
With Donald Trump, NASA's back. Tomorrow, this mission's going off. The 127th mission to the space station. Mike and Sonia are the 2 of the 4 American astronauts that are on that flight. They're right out of central casting. But what happened, Sean? You talked about the moon, and I want to get to that. But on every single mission that we send up into space, whether it's Blue Origin or SpaceX or others, we keep learning and evolving.
Yeah, the astronauts, they tell you, right? They tell you all of it. Buzz has been trying to tell you forever. The poor guy's drinking himself to death because no one listens to him. He just finds little girls to tell now because they're the only ones that'll listen to him. It's astronauts. It's all lies, all of it. All to keep you distracted while they basically carry out their massive depopulation and turning everyone into AI robots. And this is already happening, by the way. Like even Max Egan told me that he had a thought about some weird thing the other day, and 2 seconds later he saw an ad for it on or he got an email for it or something. And that's Max. But Max doesn't do all the detox stuff. I gotta get him into my spa, I gotta get him into the sauna every day. But yeah, it's already in most people. Unless you're doing all the stuff I'm doing. And even then, who knows? I don't know. We'll see. But it was pretty cool to see, because you might remember during the last moon landing, first of all, they had a guy already there on the moon, and he took the first video of, one small step for mankind.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
And then when they took off in that totally fake-looking little lunar lander thing that just went boop, there was someone there panning up, so they left him on the moon. So that's cool. On the Artemis 2 historic flyby of the moon, they were able to capture this startling footage of the brave cameraman who filmed the takeoff of the first Apollo mission for the moon. And they killed a lot of people when they did the first moon landings. Actually, I think one of the astronauts they even killed. They didn't kill any of the shuttle guys. They're all still alive. Just like the Sandy Hoax kids. But this time around, it looks like they killed a bunch of NASA people because probably a lot of them were starting to figure out, they're like, I don't think that we're actually doing what they say we're doing.
There's a story that caught our attention. We're talking about a number of U.S. scientists, some connected to very sensitive research, who have died or disappeared. Let's break down what we know so far. We're going to start with Carl Grillmar. Carl Grillmar, pictured here, was an astrophysicist at Caltech. He worked on a NASA-supported space telescope project and infrared systems. Now, he was shot and killed at his home just 2 months ago. Then there's Frank Maywald. He was the senior scientist at NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab, focused on advanced satellite systems, and he died nearly 2 years ago, but his cause of death has never been made public. Meanwhile, Monica Reza also reportedly connected to NASA's Jet Propulsion Lab project. She went missing last summer while hiking in California. No trace. It keeps going. There's William McCaslin, a retired Air Force general. He, too, is missing. He's a former head of Air Force Research Lab and oversaw advanced space and surveillance programs. He's been missing since February. And reports say he once oversaw funding connected to a project that also included Monica Reza. Now, there's more. To New Mexico, Melissa Casais. She has been missing since last summer. She worked at Los Alamos National Lab. She had an administrative role, but reportedly also had security clearances. Just months earlier, she went missing, so too did Anthony Chavez, also connected to Los Alamos, an engineer. He disappeared during a walk. No signs, no answers. And then finally, there's Nuno Loureiro. You remember Nuno Loureiro? He was the MIT researcher focused on nuclear fusion and was shot and killed in his Massachusetts home last December. It was the case of the Brown shooter. It's a separate case with no confirmed links to the others. But here's the key point. Authorities have not connected these cases, but look at the overlap. The same handful of institutions, NASA, Air Force Research, Los Alamos Laboratory. So, could they be connected? Or is this something else entirely?
And while they're doing all this, their fake moon stuff again, they're also launching basically the next COVIDs, which is going to come in the form of ticks this time. Ticks that cause a rare, dangerous red meat allergy are spreading. What precautions can you take? That's interesting. Ticks that cause a red meat allergy. I could have sworn I heard that somewhere once. At Davos.
I'll give 2 examples. So one is that people eat too much meat, right? And if they were to cut down on their consumption on meat, then they would, it would actually really help the planet. But people are not willing to give up meat. Yeah, some people will be willing to, but other people, they may be willing to, but they have a weakness of will. They say, wow, this steak is just too juicy, I can't do it. I'm one of those, by the way. So, but so here's the thought, right? So it turns out that we know a lot about, we have these intolerance to, for example, I have milk intolerance, and some people are intolerant to crayfish. So possibly we can use human engineering to make it the case that we're intolerant to certain kinds of meat, to certain kinds of bovine proteins. And there's actually analogs of this in life. There's this thing called the Lone Star tick, where if it bites you, you'll become allergic to meat. I can sort of describe the mechanism. So that's something that we can do through human engineering. We can kind of possibly address really big world problems through human engineering.
Yeah, and they even had Tucker Carlson, who's controlled opposition, come out and tell you, because that's part of what controlled opposition does. They tell you some of the truth. They put it in your face. Most people won't even listen. But he had someone on, and they're talking about how the CIA has actually been making, and the U.S. military, insect-based bioweapons with ticks.
Pardon my ignorance, what is the disease you described, the other one? Rickettsia?
So it's a rickettsia. It is the same organism that causes Rocky Mountain spotted fever, and that's the most deadly tick-borne disease in the United States. It also was a germ that was being weaponized by the U.S. military at the time, and they tried to stuff it in ticks. I mean, so what is tick weaponization? So in the interviews with Willie, what he said was, I spent over a decade in the biological weapons program, a contractor to Fort Detrick, working on weaponizing fleas, ticks, and mosquitoes, trying to mass produce them, stuffing fleas with the plague, stuffing mosquitoes with deadly Trinidad virus, and then stuffing ticks with either deadly or incapacitating diseases like relapsing fever, Venezuelan equine encephalitis, rabies, leptospirosis, which is another spirochete. So it's just like Dr. Strangelove trying to make new diseases, mixing bacteria and virus in ticks with the intent of, this is the perfect stealth weapon. It's poor man's nuke. You drop these insects on an enemy, it weakens the population, it ties up the medical resources, but doesn't destroy infrastructure like a nuclear bomb would. And in one report from a bean counter in the military, they said, tularemia, which is tick-borne tularemia, also rabbit fever, we can kill 10,000 people at $1.33 a life. So anyways, it was just, there was more to tick-borne diseases than we realized, and I began suspecting that Willie was right, given this context.
It's hard to digest all of this. It's just so evil. It's hard to believe it could happen in the United States. But I think you're right that it did, and maybe still happening.
Now, I can't say for sure that something like the Tesla machine could save you from these tick things, but I know numerous people in the Tesla Club have been bitten by ticks, and it causes like welts and stuff. And as soon as they do, they put the Tesla machine on it, and it basically disappears. And I've seen this myself with a spider bite. I had a friend, his son got bit. It started to swell up like immediately. It was on the back of his foot. 3 minutes later, it was completely gone. I've seen Apples, who I think was stung or bit by something kind of poisonous. She was throwing up and she could barely breathe. I put the Tesla machine on her and she was okay. So I can't say for sure with this, Department of Offense ticks, if the Tesla machine will make it so it doesn't work with you, but I'd say if anything can, it's probably the Tesla machine. See, when I was saying, and it's not just going to be for red meat allergies, by the way. This is going to be to kill people. You might get some red meat allergies along the way, though. But when I was saying that the Tesla machine might be kind of almost necessary to survive the end of this apocalypse, I wasn't joking. I see in Canada now, Canada just deleted the word injury from the Vaccine Injury Support Program. It's now called the Vaccine Impact Assistance Program. Yeah, it's not Vaccine Injury Support. It's Vaccine Impact Assistance. See, they're just trying to help you. You know how they try to help you? By killing you. It's called MAID. It's the government euthanasia program. Just in case you had some vaccine impact and now you're like, can barely live. You can barely walk. You got tumors, you got strokes, you got heart attacks, you got blood clots. Everyone's got blood clots. Yeah, it's just an impact of the vaccines. But that's something that we know from experience, that the Tesla machine basically gets rid of. When Max Igan cured someone of myocarditis, Dr. Anna Mihalcha has shown how clotted blood gets unclotted with the Tesla machine. So anyway, like I was saying, if you're not a part of the club, I don't know how much longer you got, but I do know this, unless you live in the Middle East, where I don't think they can get anything in the Middle East right now. If you were to become a part of the club today and you made a donation to the club, within probably about a week, you'd have a Tesla machine anywhere in the world except for the Middle East right now. I can't say that about anywhere else a month or two from now, and definitely not 4 or 5 or 6 months from now. So anyway, if you've been waiting for some reason, I would suggest you don't wait, because it might actually help you and your family survive what's coming. I know for me personally, I feel so much better having it. There's so many people in the Tesla Club with so many amazing things, like Susie. Okie dokie, here's my next Tesla-mony. I have a new ping pong buddy, Randy, who has not been able to play in about 6 months because of a chronic back problem that has gotten so bad he had to buy a different vehicle to make it easier for him to get in and out of. He was limping so bad that he almost looked like a cripple. Standing, sitting, laying, he hurt 24/7 for over a year and a half. One of the best days of his life was on a Thursday. He met me Thursday 2 weeks ago. When he and another friend started telling me how bad he hurt and how long he had hurt, I brought him home with me and introduced him to my new best friend, Tesla. After his first 10-minute treatment, he could actually twist at his waist for the first time in months. He said the next morning he could get out of the bed without having to pick up both of his legs to set them on the floor and crawl to a nightstand to pull himself up. He was very faithful to come back every afternoon after work about 10 of the last 14 days for a 15-minute treatment. Last night he played ping pong with no pain. That's pretty good. Then there's Jose. Hello everyone, I've been using my Tesla for about a month now, about 15 running hours. My leg issues are much improved after decades dealing with a bad break when I was a teenager. Today I walk my dog without the use of my walking stick. Brought it, but found myself not using it. Blood pressure is definitely better. I've had more normal readings than before. Athlete's foot cleared up. I've had great energy at work. I skipped the coffee or just get decaf. My mom likes the machine. She's using it for circulation in the legs. She passes the bulbs up and down her shins and around her knees. Give everyone an update on how that goes. Overall, very happy with my Tesla machine. This is truly a great club. Yeah, that's in the Tesla Club. Stuff like that every single day. And I gotta say, it feels pretty cool that most of those people, maybe not all, because Stu Peters talks a lot about it now too. He's basically like me now. He's like telling everybody about it. But aside from Stu, most people find out about it from me, because Max doesn't really ever mention it. Which is kind of weird, because you'd think Max would be into like Tartarian technology coming back in some way to like cure everything on Earth. But with Max, it has a price tag, and just saying like it costs money, he like has to like basically punch himself in the face. He gets angry at himself. It's this thing with Max. And I know what it is. He actually remembers like past lives when money didn't exist and how we lived on paradise on Earth. And he's kind of pissed that we even have this stuff, because he didn't really need it. He wouldn't need it in a true paradise on Earth where everyone had God consciousness. But we're actually going back there in the next few years, but you're gonna have to survive to get to it. But anyway, oh, and I should mention, speaking about going to the amazing new world where everyone's gonna have access to plasma, Tesla Club is massively hiring. Like, I don't know how many job positions are available. I think like 20. Because they're all handmade, just so you know. And they just got like people just go in and push them out the door, trying to get it out to as many people as possible. It's a ton of work and a ton of chaos, and the Matrix even tries to stop them, burn down their stuff sometimes. Like, it's incredible. But they just keep going. But they are hiring, and if you are like thinking, you know, you want to do something that's amazing. Like when I said I feel so amazing, it's so cool that every day I wake up and someone's like, I can walk. I couldn't walk before. And I didn't know this until I heard this guy on his ranch in Mexico. It's kind of cool. Like, I don't get like big, like, oh, look at me, I saved another person. I'm just like, that's so freaking cool. Like, I just see miracles all around me, just constant miracles. It's just cool. And if you want to have that feeling, Tesla's looking for like amazing people, and they're looking for every type of person you can imagine. They're looking for the best people though too, just so you know. So if you're not the best, don't apply. And also, if you're vaccinated with the COVIDs, lethal injection, you can't apply. And also if you're Jewish, of course. So, you know, those are just common sense sort of things for the protection of the company. But if you're not none of those things, go to tesla.club/jobs. And even if you don't see a job position that you think actually fits what you can do best, they have like an open job position. Just put in there what you do best. Like if you're awesome at one thing or something, but you don't see a job posting, just put it in. There's a chance they'll find a spot for you, because that's what they're actually just putting together so many incredible, amazing people, all doing incredible, amazing things, helping so many people across the world. Like, it's pretty incredible. Anyway, I think I'll leave it there. That was definitely long enough. Pretty wild. But yeah, we're just here for the apocalypse, having a good time. I think my son's gonna go, like there's a town that's a little further away. It's not a small town, it's about like a medium-sized town. They got some like restaurants with like shows and stuff. Like Mexico's super cool. So my son's probably going there with the whole family. I'll probably stick around here and work. Although I do try to go with them on all these things. I think I'm gonna go with my son this Saturday, do some stuff with him. But yeah, we're just having fun, enjoying the apocalypse. I hope you are too. I think I'll leave it there. I don't even see where Apples is. Maybe we'll find her and Max at dinner. Just leave it there. What's going on, Apples? Oh, it's dinner time. Just staying under here. I think the little guy's got some for me. If not, Max has got me. We'll leave it there.
Tried to ignite while propaganda kept killing.